Alright guys, what's going on today? We'll start out with, I've been in the Subaru, got my receipt, and I've got my olives, which is what they look like. See that little thing there? That's what we needed for the Brokeroo. I bought two, just so I got one in stock, because it is very common for people to pull those 6mm vacuum lines off to the turbo and replace them with nice coloured 8mm ones, which drops your boost, and then they don't have that little olive in the line. And we showed you on that last video how much more boost it built and how it held boost better with that olive in the line. It makes a big difference. And just for reference, I bought two of them and it cost me $8.98, and you can pay up to about $40 each for those on eBay and around the place. So Subaru, sometimes Subaru parts are cheaper just to buy from the dealer, and that's not very common with a dealer. But anyway, we'll continue on with this video. I just thought I'd let you know we're moving forward with the Subaru, with the Brokeroo. I'm going to get rid of all the front mount off that, and I'm going to start looking now for a big top mount and replace all those hoses to get rid of all the front mount. Yeah, alright. Let's go have a look, eh? What's going on, winners and gooders? Alright, so this morning's been a bust, guys. I picked up this laser to scrap one. It was nearly 60 k's out of town, so there's nothing, yeah, I'm gonna do my ass. So I'm going the long way back. I haven't been down this way before, so what I'm doing is a bit of backyard shopping. As you can see, we have got farms out on the sides everywhere, so yeah, you just gotta, I've got to hook in because I'm on my way back for the live for you guys. It's Saturday morning. We're doing that turbo VX, and we're going to take out the vnss ute for a run today too, to swap the carbies over, because as you can see, I have a pile of carbies in the front of the truck. Just doing a bit of shopping on the way. I did just see a couple of like FB wagons and stuff back that way further. I don't have time to stop this morning, but you just log all these and be back out this way again if I see something extra great. Like sometimes all you see is just the back of a car and you take a punt that it's the right one. Remember those wagons I picked up? That's how they come about. I could just sort of make out the shape of the wagon, and yeah. But anyway, alright guys, we will get over and have a look at this ute, hey? Take it for a run today. So I'm just launching it back. I'm going to cut it pretty fine. I think I'll be rolling in right on 10 o'clock. Alright guys, let's go have a look at this ute. Alright guys, got to the workshop. Okay, so the ute's out. We're going to drive this today and take it into town. We'll get it. There's a car show over in Kingatow at Ace's Mechanical, so we're going to take this over to take it for a run. The auto's pretty good in it now. We want to see what rattles it's got, what it drives like, and the carby that's on it's not the best, and it's not really doing what it should do. We're going to change manifold and cam on this anyway, but for now we'd like to get it going better. So Leith requested me to bring in whatever carbies I had at home. So
well, the one in the box can go in the bin.
What, the one in the box? So what's this one then? What?
Yeah, the old spread bore piece of shit, that can go away.
Okay, so that's a spread bore 650 from the looks of it. Okay, so spread bore, meaning it's, instead of having those ones all the same, it's got the two different sizes. And let's tell them, Leaf, why you don't like the spread bore. What's the...
It's more of a drivability thing. Yes, they are similar to a quadrijet, but being back secondary with big butterflies in the rear,
that it's the back secondary because of
the vacuum diaphragm. When they open, for something that's got a bit of a cam, you don't have enough of a vacuum source to actually pull those butterflies open. You can like buggerize around with the springs and all that sort of stuff, but to me they're just too hard to tune for a nice progressive acceleration. Like you can see there, that's the vacuum source in the side through there, and it just doesn't, to me,
that little hole there, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that to me, it's just too hard. You'll have too much of a transition from primaries to secondary. So
okay,
that's sort of what it's got already, because it doesn't like to come.
And when he says when you have a cam in it, when you have a cam in a motor, it drops the amount of vacuum in the engine. So sometimes you need to actually run an additional air cylinder, like a reservoir, like on your compressor, for your brakes, because your vacuum drops that far that sometimes your brake booster won't work properly and you end up with a hard pedal because you're not creating enough vacuum to even run your brakes.
Like overlap on the cam, the exhaust and the intake valves are open for longer at the same amount, at the same time than they are with a standard cam. So you lose a little bit of vacuum. So,
yeah. So yeah.
I'd like to use that one there, but we don't have a fuel. Oh, hang on, I could use. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. We might just try that one, I think.
Okay, so you'll see on the bottom of this one, see how they're the same size. I think that's the one actually that I gave to Jake.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's the same as you can see, guys. So it'd have mechanical.
We're just missing the secondary linkage there. There's meant to be a linkage there to pull the secondaries closed.
Okay. Well, surely we've got one somewhere.
Oh, one of these ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, well that's it there. That's what we're missing.
I know you're all thinking to yourself, Christ, how many carbies do you have? When I find them and see them and they're cheap, I grab hold of them and just put them away for moments like these. Righto, so the captain's made a selection of what he wants to use. So we're going to run through the carbies that I've brought over, okay, and they're just a mixed bag of when I see them at the right money, they get set aside. Why, what they are, okay, how to recognise what they are, and then why he doesn't want to use them on this application, which is an automatic 304 with a small cam and no converter. And now it's his phone's turn. 1 second. All right, Letho, so we'll start with the one in the box.
Well, we've discussed that one there, but yeah, back secondary, just a transition from primaries to secondaries on something with a cam. Just not a big. It will sort of feel like a flat spot between the secondaries and the primaries opening. I've just never.
So what would you put that on? What would that be suited to with those back secondaries?
The top of a wheelie bin.
Seriously.
What I'd put that on a stock 308 or something like that. Something that's just going to be a daily driven thing, because basically it's very similar to a Quadrajet, which is what most, you know,
I had one at home. I should have bought it.
253s and stuff come out.
There was
the only thing better about this than well, people swear by Quadrajets that they're really good carbies, and yes they are for stock motors, but when you start getting into the performance side with the Quadrajet, they're a very specialised thing to make work well. So, but this one here, yes, it's very similar to Quadrajet, more tunable, because then you've got your power valve and your jets to replace, and you can change springs inside the diaphragm to get the secondaries to open it, yeah, which we could make that work, but the stuff around to make that work properly would be a bit of a headache. Very good for economy, because you only got really small primaries. This one here is a 750 vac secondary. Once again, yes, that would work alright.
And with the 750, okay, so this one here is a 650, right? So move that box. And that one there is a 750. Now, the way that you tell the difference, I can look at it and see it, but we've been doing it for years, right? You guys can see now they're sitting next to each other how you tell a 750 and a 650, obviously by the float bowls.
No, well not necessarily, because a lot of them will have the same float bowls. Like that one there, that's just a different model. You know, so you can, those float bowls will go straight onto this carby as long as you've got the bypass tube on the side there. So anything that's vac secondary will just, well, that's not a double pumper, I should say. Will have a bypass tube because you've only got one fuel entry, and then it fills the front bowl, and then the fuel comes down the tube there and fills the rear bowl. This one here, rather than having the bypass tube there, that's basically just got a fuel entry on each bowl. So I could put those bowls on that with that one there, and it'd do exactly the same thing. So, but yeah, I just know it's a 650 just by the size of the butterflies in it, because they're like how small they are to how big they are, and basically that just means CFM, cubic feet per minute. So
usually, okay, so there's one thing I've learned today is I'm wrong. Look, it's all the 750s generally do look larger. They just the bowls are always bigger. You don't very well see a 750 with small bowls like that.
No, that's because it's just a different generation of carby. See, that may be a factory carb of something that come out with the holley, because a lot of cars come out of the factory with hollies, like when they're, you know, a performance variant of a standard car, they will get holley to make them carbies for them. So not rather than using like a Carter or a Quadrajet or something like that, holley will make them a carby to suit that exact vehicle. Right. Okay, so now this one here, 750 vac secondary, also once again tell by the butterfly size. And yes, that would be very good, but once again, the tunability, like this one's sort of easier because you can just, you know, change springs and that in there. But being a vac secondary, only one lot of squirters in there, so you've only got squirters on the primaries. So, but yeah, that for what we're doing right now, slightly too big without a converter. When we've got the converter in there, yes, it would be alright, but I want this thing to crank, and when I put a bigger cam in it, once again, you got the lacquer vacuum to open the secondaries, a lot of finicky tuning. That one there, that looks like, okay, that's a oh geez, that might even be that's either a 465 or a 600.
That might be for my turbo one. My
actually,
cylinder.
yeah, look, it's got, that's there for vacuum, so I can actually read vacuum.
Which would be good then for the turbo one.
Yes, perhaps. I'd have to pull that one apart and have a look and see where those actually go. Because
465s are very, very hard to find, and they are good for a hot Holden 6-cylinder or a 6-cylinder or something a bit smaller, or even a 253. They are suited quite well.
You have a look at the difference in the actual Venturi size in there.
Venturi, what he means is the hole in there.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, like that's your booster there where the fuel comes through. As the air goes past the booster, that's what draws the fuel through, and obviously you got your jets in there, and that basically determines how much fuel can be drawn out the booster.
That's a massive difference.
But yeah, that's a massive difference. So that's I'm thinking that may be a 465, maybe a 600. I'd have to.
That is my turbo one.
Yeah,
because of that. That's the one.
Yeah, that's it.
That is the
and
turbo
that's
one.
had the choke housing machined off.
I bought a Strata 2 6-cylinder turbo setup a while back for the HR wagon, and I didn't think I bought that carby with me, but that is the carby then. That is a 465 or a 520 or something. Yeah.
Bring out so I can actually read vacuum. So, because on a draw-through setup, it'll pull more vacuum through the turbo than what the engine actually requires. Here, this is the one that I will put on it eventually. That's a 750 double pumper. Double pumper, basically you've got two accelerator pumps. So they're your accelerator pumps there. So as you crack the throttle, the primaries are opening there, pushing that plunger there, and then when you crack the secondaries open, it'll push that one there. So
you can see when you look at the two carbies, so this is a vacuum carby, vacuum secondaries, and that's a double pumper, so it's mechanical secondaries. So that's how you can tell the difference between those two.
So yeah, so what this will do, when you crack the primaries, fuel will squirt there to compensate for before the fuel gets drawn through the boosters. So basically that gives you a little bit of squirt, because when the throttle cracks open, the boosters can't keep up with the amount of air going in there straight away, so it actually pumps fuel in there to compensate for that. But then, so it does the primaries, and then when you crank the secondaries, you get a big gut full of fuel to compensate for the amount of air going through. And that's where, that would be awesome on the car when we got the converter, because you don't want that to happen at really low RPM, especially with an auto, because it'll just flood it and die in the arse. So
the converter we're aiming for now, we're waiting for it to turn up. We got it from Beanley Auto Recyclers down on the coast. It's a $3,000 converter shop converter. It's a second-hand one. One of our subscribers, thank you very much, dude, for sending me the link to show me you saw it on Facebook. So that's gonna, as he said, if it at low RPM, if you run that and bang, mechanically open those secondaries, dump fuel in at $2,000, it's just gonna bog and be a donkey. Right. Whereas you'll hit it, it's up over $3,000 at all times, the thing's revving, you dump a heap of fuel in at that high RPM and she's gonna move. But we don't have the converter in today, but we still wanna drive this thing and have some fun. So yeah, I think I'll put this one here on. That's a 650 back secondary. Basically very similar to what's on it now, but the one on it now is buggered, so we're just basically going to replace the one that's on there with this one today, and it is a performance one. So that will most probably have a lighter spring in there, which will allow for a slightly larger cam than standard. So, and it just looks in better nick. It's a hell of a lot lighter than the standard one too. So, but we'll get that one on today. You can actually see that's actually the cam for the accelerator pump. So that one there is actually larger than the standard ones anyway, so it will pump more fuel through. I think that's the go for today. I think we'll chuck that one on there, and it's just easy. It's exactly the same as what's on there. So fuel line on, linkages on, and away we go. So that's the go for today. All right, guys. I know that's a lot to take in, guys. We will address carbies again when we change back again with the 750. So if you've got any questions, send them to me, and we'll get the captain to run through that sort of stuff. Carbies. Okay, I've been asked why we're changing from the EFI, because these come out with fuel injection, to a carby. Those bunch of banana manifolds are very good with a small cam and a small converter and all that sort of stuff, but they do run out of efficiency up top. We will make more horsepower with a carby with the right manifold. If anyone,
and it's not just that either.
hang on.
With the EFI, because you've basically just got air going through the intake manifold, the air does heat up, like the intake manifold heats up, so the air heats up, so you're going to basically lose in fuel. That if you've got any sort of intake manifold on it with a carby, and actually the fuel going through the carby will actually cool down the intake manifold, which cools down the intake charge. So therefore more horsepower. So the colder the air you can get in there, the more fuel you can burn, because there's more oxygen in colder air. Well, not saying more, but yeah, hard to explain that one, but yeah.
So on this car now, we'll open this bonnet up. Just pull that cable. I'll show you what's on here now, guys, for the guys that haven't seen this car yet. Okay, so it's running a single plane manifold with. So this thing's running just a single plane manifold with this ridiculous spacer. And the carby, as Leith said, has internal issues, and just it backfires back through. It runs lean under acceleration and stuff like that. So we'll put that other one on it. Eventually, we're going to, when the motor gets built, get a it's a dual plane air gap Edelbrock Talker manifold. Is that the one that you wanted?
Yeah, Edelbrock Performer.
Yeah, Edelbrock Performer, which will give us a higher rev range with the converter and the bigger cam we put in. But yeah,
well, it'll probably give us a similar rev range, maybe a little bit lower than what that one is, but it'll give us more torque down low, and that's what we want. The thing's going to be a daily driven thing. It's not a race car. We don't want to be revving the arse out of it all day, every day. So, the Edelbrock Performer is still really good for high RPM, but does give you more torque down low. So that's what we're going for on this one. So.
Have they tried to compensate with that spacer under the carby, and why would you run a spacer
more
like
torque,
that?
but more plenum volume? I don't think it'll make I don't think it'll make any difference on this car whatsoever. But it basically just gives it a tunnel ram effect. So you make a little bit more torque with it.
But the motor's not hot enough, camp's not big enough, compression's not high enough to warrant the headache.
It's a small motor, so I'd rather put the dual plane on there to try and create some torque to get the power out of it, rather than just revving it. So.
Alright, so next step is swap these carbies over, take it for a run. But our live feed's about to start, guys, so if any of you guys haven't checked out the live feeds, we are about to run through what we've already done with the Club Sport Turbo and sort that out and get it sorted so it can go next week. Alright, let's get this stuff in here, get set up for the live feed and get back into this thing to drive at the Sabo. Alright guys, Letho's fitted up that new carby and he's just giving it half a tune right now. Just setting the idle and stuff. He started up quite quickly and got to get a bit of temp in it, I'll do the idle mixture. He fired up quite well and went quite good. Like, it's only just temporary on this carby until we do the cam and everything and put the bigger one back in. But yeah. We'll just let that get some temp in it and he's going to set the idle mixtures and go from there. Alright, we'll wait for that to happen and we'll go for a run. Alright guys, so she's running and we're going to head out for a test drive. Shut these roller doors and yeah, see what she's going to do with the new carby. Alright, see what she's going to do, eh? Letho bought another shirt with him so that when we go to town later we didn't end up looking like sisters. Alright, so we've just changed the carby over to that other 650, okay, and it still has the standard converter in it, guys. So we're, yeah, see how she goes, and that way you guys are going to be able to see the difference when we put a bigger converter in it. We haven't done anything in the interior in this thing yet, guys, but you can see someone's painted that and it's, you know, they've painted there and it's just not real flash. But we've got everything there so we can change it all back to good. Alright. He's just setting the speedo up for himself. He's almost chopped his arm off. Bloody motorbikes. Yep. We'd have to get those donkeys in front of us, wouldn't we? this carby on it, so we'll be able to yeah, assess it a lot better with this other carby. So yeah.
Breaking down a little bit up top, guys. Can you see that dust storm up in front of us there, up amongst the trees? I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Take that silly monster one out of the green, out of that green VN out the back. All right, let's see what she's going to do.
I think that one went in the rip.
Breaking down a bit up top, guys. Could it be losing spark? This thing does have a well, an MSD in it, guys. Yeah.
And it might be 75 grand.
Right. So he's just saying that he's going to check out the MSD and see what the rev limiter is set on. Because other than that, it seems crisp. It seems sort of good. The gearbox is good now,
And it does have some pretty decent diff gears in it.
Yep. Well, as in what, 3.7?
3.7 to 3.9.
Alright. It's not all bad, guys. It's not all bad. Box is good, man. That held that.
No, it is. It's pretty good.
Yep, I reckon we're going to have some fun in this thing, guys. It's going to be a really nice ute. How are you getting internet out driving? We're still sort of in town. We're not. That's why we didn't go too far.
Yeah, we're not at one way.
Yeah, but if you go the other way, it'll probably drop out. Sounded like the axle was about to fall out of that trailer. I have an old 83 laser there. Do that. Yeah, she shifts hard.
Look at it feel. It might be a spark plug issue. I reckon it might have too big a plug gap. But anyway.
Oh, it's got a good LSD in it. Alright. Okay guys, well that was a success. Seems to yeah, shift well, go alright. Check these plugs. Alright, we're about to take this thing for a test drive, but we were just pulling all the stuff out of the back, so the back's all cleaned out now. We're gonna have to replace those struts out. They look the same as bonnet struts, man. We'll get the boys to find something this week. So these are those Recaro seats. I'm gonna send these in to get redone in our SS trim. But the captain just spotted a standard Dizzy with a big cap. So I think, well, Leith thinks, which he's normally right, as you guys are rapidly starting to realise, the MSD and all that, and the Pro Comp Dizzy and that's in it, he's pretty sure that...
the MSD's good, Pro Comp Dizzy, yeah, not too sure. I've seen some of them fly apart.
Yeah, and that could be our reason for it breaking down up top. But we'll take it for a good drive now and see what it does, and then from there we can refine it, get the manifold soon, the bigger carby. Christ, most Saturdays were quiet hours. This morning it's just all happening. Alright, he can talk to his new mate. I'll give this a quick wash if it takes long enough, and then we'll be cruising shiny. Righto guys, yeah, we're not going to go to that car show. We just drove past then, and the coppers are there checking all cars and everything like that. It's crazy. Like, the boys are down there putting a thing on for, I think it was for prostate awareness or something like that, charity event, car show, and the coppers are down there, yeah, checking all the cars and carrying on. So I don't think we'll go there. We'll go do something else. Anyway, see what we'll go look at next. Righto guys, so we're in the vnss ute build. Okay, so this is no converter. Okay, we've just put that new carby on it, but we do have the new box. So these comparisons are going to be for standard converter to $3 converter, and Leith will also do a Dizzy swap as well, just to see the difference as we progress through what it's doing. So Yeah, it's just a case of listening, guys, and seeing how it goes. So, all right, go for it, dude. All right, so as you guys heard then from the start, it took a while to build and then take off. So we'll do one again, and so just listen for that again. So how quickly the revs come up to get the thing moving into first, second change, you know what I mean? So we're looking for quick build, bang and go. So this is obviously going to be slower than, yeah, the big converter. So, all right, we'll do this. That gives us a bit of a baseline for what it is now. So Lee's going to play with timing and put that other distributor in, because I think that's going to improve on the quickness of revving just a little bit.
Yeah, I want to lock the dizzy up with the converter. Have like a 32 degrees total all the way through.
Yep.
Which will definitely help with down low power. And yeah, the converter will make a big difference. And then the carby. So it's basically going to be a totally different car by the time we've done carby, converter, lock up the distributor. You'll notice a big difference. It'll just privatize all the way on the road pretty much.
That situation there, once the converter's in it, once Lee's done the dizzy and he's got the carby right, you should be able to just floor that and it'll just fry tyres up the road. That's sort of what we're aiming for. So, alright dudes, we'll continue on from here and see what else we've got going on.